welcome back to my channel. This is my second kind of bookish video, and I thought, especially in spring, when I think of spring and summer and just those warmer months, I think of romance books, which is my personal favorite genre. So yeah, I thought I'd share my favorite romance books of all time. And like, these don't necessarily have to be 5-star reads. I mean, some of them are, so some of them will overlap with my other video, but some of them are, 4.5 star reads, but all very like highly rated, like my favorite romance books. Yeah, most of them are pretty light and fluffy, but I feel like that's really fun. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm trying to try like all the Olipop and like B brand sodas because they're super cute and I feel like they're popular for a reason. I really love the cream soda Olipop flavor, but I didn't like the fruit punch one I tried, which is just hard because they're like expensive, so I really want to like all the ones I try. But I do really like the cherry limeade poppy one, so that's kind of the drink of choice tonight. A sipper, so it takes me a long time to finish drinks because I had this with dinner like 2 hours ago, but it's really yummy. Alright, let's get into it. One of my favorite auto-buy authors of all time is Emily Henry, so of course all of her books that I've read are in this stack. So yeah, on the top of the stack we have Book Lovers. It's like a small town romance. I believe it's Friends to Lovers or like Second Chance. One's about Laura Steffens and Charlie. Yes. I just remember really enjoying this. I love small towns. Like, that's like one of my favorite settings for books. I feel like just because they're so cozy and they just add an extra level of coziness, especially to like a fluffy, cutesy romance book. And yeah, I just love Emily Henry's books in general because it takes like this like a normal level of fluffy, cutesy romance, but does add some depth to the characters, and I feel like they're very relatable. Nora, her sister Libby, is pregnant. Small town. It's for like a little girls trip like before she has her baby. After like her sister like begs her to, so it's kind of like last minute little trip. I really enjoyed it, and like it's funny because Charlie, like the love interest, they like have these like meet cutes like all throughout the book, like randomly bumping into each other, and they're both in the book of business. I believe she is an editor or a publisher and he's a writer, so it's really cute too that they're both in the book and writing business, just because it's like a book about people who love books, and like, isn't that super cute? I mean, the title kind of explains itself. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it, and oh my gosh, it just warmed my heart. It was just such a cozy read, and I just loved the banter. It's just so good. She's the queen of banter. Next we have another Emily Henry book, and this is People We Meet on Vacation. I believe this is the first one I read by her. It's about Alex and Poppy. It was definitely a little slower than like I would like, I remember, but I'm so glad I finished it. All of these are between 4 and 5 stars, like all of them. Like there's never a 3-star Emily Henry book. I'm excited because she like releases them, I feel like every April, which is my birthday month, so I'm so excited for her next one. Like I said, auto by author, of course. This one is like the one where they like trips every year, I believe, and it's like goes through the different summer like vacations, and it's kind of like something happens between them, so until 2 years ago when they ruined everything, they haven't spoken since. So it's like you're trying to figure out what happened. Like it kind of works backwards in time, so like at the end of the book you can kind of figure out what like made them like fall apart and make their friendship fall apart. So yeah, it's kind of like a second chance, friends to lovers, a rekindling. Type 5, he wants to fix everything, and yeah, she reaches out to him like out of the blue, like we should go on another vacation, and it's kind of like that whole vibe, like second chance, friends to lovers, friends to enemies to lovers, like yeah. Next, this is like probably my favorite Emily Henry book, and this is Beach Read. I want to reread this book so bad. This is the second one I read by her, like a couple summers ago, and it is so good. This is about Augustus and January. I love the name. I feel like January is such a pretty name. He's a literary fiction author, and January writes romance, and it's kind of like they like are neighbors, like they both like are staying in like this beach house neighborhood for the summer, I believe, and like they have kind of like banter going on. Like I think they knew each other in like high school or college, so they're kind of like rivals, and like they make this bet like we should switch genres. January writes a literary fiction book, Augustus writes a romance book, and basically they like curate these little dates for each other to help them like get creative and like in the mood to write like that opposite genre. So it's really cute, like seeing all the little dates they go on, and just like the writing experience, and like going through writer's block and all these really relatable things. As someone who loves to write too, I'm taking a couple of online creative writing classes, and I've been working on a novel just for fun and refreshing to see that perspective of published writer in their process, so I really enjoyed that aspect of it too. It's kind of like a slow burn, but it was just so cute. I just loved their banter, but also just their friendship that grew along with the story, and it's just like the perfect cozy summer read, and it's definitely, I think, my favorite Emily Henry book so far. Next, taking a short break from Emily Henry, we have The Summer of Broken Rose. I read this, I think, either last summer or the summer before. This is a YA book, and it's closed door, so there's no like spicy scene. Someone, I don't mind spice, I mean, but I'm also fine without it when they have good chemistry, but it's sometimes hard like when it feels like you don't feel that connection, that like you kind of need it. This one's about Meredith Fox, and her sister passed away 18 months ago. I think I read this in a really good time where I was dealing with grief of my own, and I really connected with Meredith's character. I said in my last video, I'm not a big YA fan, like I just like things with a bit more depth, and this is one where I did really love the story, and it just shows how YA books can be so good at any age when they're done correctly and when they're done good. Because don't get me wrong, you know, my sister reads YA books and she's 3 years younger than me, so it's nice when YA books can like have a nice range and like show that they're not all for like, you know, middle school age. And basically, yeah, Meredith's been dealing with grief that past year after losing her sister, but every year her family does their summer trip to Martha's Vineyard, and it's like this big thing. I believe that this year it's like a wedding. There's like cousins who are getting married, so it's kind of like the bride and groom different sides, like the bridesmaids and the groomsmen, so it's kind of that whole vibe. And they play this game called Assassin every year. Meredith couples up or like teams up with one of the groomsmen, and they like have this little friendship going through Assassin, and it was such a cute book. I believe I rated it 4 stars. I just loved how Meredith really was able to process her grief through this trip, but also like still have fun and show that grief is not a linear process, and hey to be happy sometimes. Like that doesn't mean you're doing grief wrong. I just loved Meredith so much. What's the guy's name? It doesn't say in here, I forgot. It just says groomsmen, but yeah, I just loved them as a couple, and it's just really cute. It's such a cute little summer light, but also some depth to it. Next, Love in Other Words. This is like a highly rated romance all around. I believe I gave it 5 stars. I know so many, well actually no, I gave it 4 stars, or it would have been in my other video, but I know so many other like booktubers who love this book too, for the right reason. Also this cover, it's literally a Nina cover. It's just so pretty. It's like my favorite book cover of all time. And this is a dual like timeline. It has like when they were teenagers, and while also like present timeline when they're like older, second chance, and friends to lovers, and childhood friends to lovers. Kind of like when we meet on vacation, when it's like you're trying to work past the timelines, like going backwards to see what happened and why they stopped speaking. So yeah, that's why I noticed this is true. So it's about Macy Sorensen and Elliot. And yeah, they were like childhood sweethearts. I believe this one also deals with some grief too. Yeah, they like were, yeah, high school sweethearts, and then something happens and they don't speak, and they kind of rekindle that later in life. They kind of become strangers during that period. It says that Elliot will come to understand the truth behind Macy's decade-long silence, and will have to overcome the past in himself to receive her faith and the possibility of an all-consuming love. It's just so good. I also want to read this, and the cover is so pretty. I love second chance romances, but they're so hard. Friends to lovers is my favorite romance trope of all time. My favorite book trope, friends to lovers. It's so good. I think it's really important to have a friendship before dating someone. I feel like that's such a good foundation to build off of. Alright, back to Emily Henry books. We have Happy Place. This is the most recent one, came out last year. I have the hardcover, so you can tell I did get it, like I think I got it a week after the release, because I was just so excited, and now I just saw it in Barnes & Noble that they have the paperback out, but it's okay. I like when all of them match, but it was just so hard to resist. Let's see. This is about Harriet and Wynne. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, they have like this friend group going on, and like they were like engaged in the friend group, and it was kind of like a family vibe, and then they broke up 5 months ago, so before the story started, but they didn't tell any of their friends, just because that's kind of hard, especially when it's like an inner friend group relationship. So yeah, their friends do like their yearly like beach house trip, and they're having to share a room and like one bed trope and pretend that they're still together. and it's just really hard to keep that a secret. There's lots of lying going on, and like it's kind of sometimes funny, like them trying to hide the fact that they're not together anymore. And yeah, you're trying to figure out, like, you know, throughout that summer, they're like, you know, like, are there still sparks here? Like, do we give it another chance? Just kind of rekindling that and seeing like what's there, but also like you're trying to figure out what happened between them and why they're not together anymore. So yeah, that is Happy Place. Alright, next we're going into another auto-buy author for me, and that is Hannah Grace. I read 2 of her books just in the past few months, and oh my gosh, I am obsessed. Okay, I read Icebreaker back in like January. It's a really good January read, and oh my gosh, it was just so good. I loved Nate, and this book got me into sports romances, especially hockey romances, and I am not sporty at all. Like, if you know, I'm a dancer. I've been doing ballet for 10-11 years. Like, that's my thing, not hockey or anything, but for some reason they just get me, like the college atmosphere, like it's just so good. This is about a figure skater, Anastasia, and Nate, who is a hockey player, and basically something happens and they have ice skaters have to share their rink with the hockey players, and it creates this like big conflict. It's kind of like an enemies to lovers. It's like Grumpy meets Sunshine too, because Nate's like such a golden retriever type, which I just love. Like, that is my thing. Like, golden retriever guys just get me. I just love it. And then Anastasia's like the grumpy girl, which I love that twist because I feel like it's normally the other way around, so I loved that. Sparks kind of fly, and you know, it's kind of a slow burn, but also like an enemies to lovers, which I like that genre too when it's not too long. I'm not a big slow. I love the chemistry that builds up, but I also like them to get together and not leaving it till like the last 50 pages. And it was just, this book is so good. I just loved it, especially once they got together. I was obsessed. I was rooting for them, and I was just like, I am so hooked. I was googling books like Icebreaker, like I need to read another one. It's just, it was so good. It was so good. Yeah, I just loved it. Oh my gosh, like auto buy. I'll buy any of Hannah Grace's books. I just love the college setting and just the friends, the found family with the hockey players and the figure skater friends. It was just so good. And I ended up reading so many just like not as well known hockey romances after that, just like on my Kindle app. I do want to get a Kindle. I want to get a Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. That's like on my bookish wish list. So yeah, I want to be a Kindle girl, but I also love paperbacks too. So yeah, I just loved it so much. Just such a fluffy comfort book. It was just so cute. Alright, next, and then like a few months later, I saw lots of mixed reviews. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like it as much as Icebreaker, because I just loved Icebreaker so much. But I'm glad that I've read it, and that is Wildfire, which is kind of, they're both standalones, but there's like repeating characters and like plots that kind of show like what all the other characters in the first book are up to, and it's like about a different hockey player, and it's set in the summer at like a summer camp, so it's really cute with the different seasons, with this one being so wintry and this one being so summery. Also, the covers are so cute. They had the same amount of chemistry and just cuteness as Icebreaker, and again, I love the guy, and it's so nice when you like the guy, the main like male love interest. And yeah, this is about Russ and Aurora, and I loved Russ in this book too, but so it's fun to see him again and see him falling in love. And yeah, and I loved how it's set at a summer camp, and it's like you have to be careful because there's kids and having a job and like doing your responsibilities, so you don't want to get caught or like mess it up or have it interfere with your work. So I just loved that work around and just having to kind of sneak around. And yeah, I thought it was really cute. There's some found family again in this with the counselor, so I thought that was really cute too. I do love found family. I'm currently reading Magnolia Parks right now. It's been a slower one. I love it, but it's definitely slower than I thought it was gonna be. Like, I'm on page 200. I've been reading it for the past 2 weeks, and normally I feel like I finish books pretty fast, but I'll keep you updated. I do really like that, and that has a lot of found family in it too, and it does remind me of British Gossip Girl. Like, everyone who said that is totally right. I do love it, but it's definitely not a romance. It's literary fiction, and if you say it's a romance, but I have to admit, okay, I'm so off topic, but the start is giving romance. Like, I did actually want them to get together, but now I'm like, no way, like, it's literary fiction. But anyways, back to Wildfire. It's really cute because like Aurora's like, no, this is not happening, like we're not getting together, and then you know, it's a romance, so stuff happens. But yeah. Alright, next is another YA book and series in general by Nihan. To All the Boys I Loved Before. I also read this series when I was dealing with grief 2 summers ago. I remember really connecting with Laura Jean too, just being introverted but also still being social and outgoing, but just having that personality. Very similar hobbies and just very similar personality. I just really loved this book, and Laura Jean, just that slice of life. I do love slice of life, especially, yeah, something as relatable as this, and I just loved this series. It was just so good, and I just, yeah, if you haven't heard of it or haven't read it before, basically Laura Jean is a really quiet, introverted 16-year-old. She likes to stay home and watch movies, and she loves to bake and do arts and crafts, and she volunteers at her local senior center. Yeah, and basically she loves to fall in love. She loves her romance reads and her romance movies, and she's basically had like 5 crushes, I believe, like really intense ones throughout her lifetime, and she writes a letter addressed to them each time she has a really strong crush, but they never go anywhere. Like, they are kept in a box in her closet, like never to be seen again, but just to have them out. But basically her little sister sends out all of the letters. I can't remember if it's on purpose or accidentally, so all of the guys like find those letters, and it's really funny. There's like fake dating in it and childhood friends to lovers. It was just really cute, and I loved it. It was another really good YA, and I love the whole series too. Like, I just grew up the first one, but they all were like, I believe, all 4 stars. Like, even I think this one was even 4.5. Just so good. And then another series by Jenny Han is The Summer I Turned Pretty. I'm sure I have the old cover for this one. I got it from like Thrift Books, which is a really good like used book website where I can get like books for like $2. Favorite of all time. I've spent so much money on their website. I mean, $15 to get free shipping, like that's like I can buy 5 books off there. Like, it's amazing. But anyway, so this one like is like the older cover, but then the rest of them I have the really cute like Barnes and Noble covers. But yeah, if you haven't heard of the series, I mean, most people probably have. I also love the Amazon show. I love the whole series. It's very light. Like, I didn't have high expectations, but I loved it for like what it was. Like, yeah, it's basically about Belly and her brother, family friends. They all go to Cousins Beach and stay at their beach house for the summer. It's like dual perspective where it goes over the summers, but I don't know. But yeah, and basically there's like her mom's friend has these 2 sons like around Belly's age, and she like loves like the older one, but she's really good friends with the younger ones. Best friend, the brother's best friend trope, and then you also have friends to lovers because it's kind of like love triangle. But no, it was just so cute, and I was definitely invested. The last book was very frustrating, but it's still really good. But no, I just loved the series. Like, it was just super cute, and I love the Barnes and Noble covers. Covers do get me, especially with romance books, and yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, and I love the summer vibes and just the beach house, and I loved Belly. I thought she was another really relatable character, and just very teenage girl. Next, I never really rate. Oh, this is actually the last one. Okay. I never really rate Christmas romances that high, but I'm sorry, why did I rate this 4.5 stars? I did. I read it this year, or this past Christmas, and it's Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. I really want to read more Tessa Bailey books. I've just heard so many great things, and she's definitely on my author list. Yeah, this is Wreck the Halls. This one is another Friends to Lovers, second chance, and it's about Melody and Beat, who are like children of really famous rock star parents, and the band like split up basically. So there's like tension between the kids and like their moms who were in a band together, like a girl band. And it's like years later, and it's a really famous band, and basically this reality TV crew wants to get the band like back together and have a reunion hopefully. So they're using the kids, Melody and Beat, to like do that. And this is years later, you know, they're out of school, they're adults now. So basically Melody and Beat, who have no hard feelings for each other, are like, okay. And yeah, Beat's just super protective and it's just really cute. There's a 24-hour filming crew that follows them around, so it's just like the lack of privacy and just all of the tension and fanfare. And you know, it's set during Christmas time, so you have all the Christmas-y stuff happening and the decorations, and I believe it's set in New York too, so you have all of that, those festivities. Beat's always by her side, and it's just really cute, and I just loved their dynamic as friends. And yeah, and I just also loved their dynamic together. I thought they were really cute together. Those are all of my favorite romance books. I hope you enjoyed. This is officially the second episode of Book Diaries. And yeah, let me know if there's any videos in general that you want to see. Yeah, thank you for sticking around. Hopefully you can join this little community, like, subscribe, comment anything, and yeah, if you want to know when I upload, click that notification bell. Next one. Bye.